We're live.
We're live. Awesome.
How's everyone doing out there?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Great to be back on our live stream talking about immigration.
That's right.
Talking about immigration. My name is Radlin Mendoza, and this is my husband and law partner of 20 plus years married. And we are immigration attorneys at Gardner Mendoza, a law firm we founded in year 2000, 21 years ago.
Yes.
And we appear here almost every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to answer your immigration questions and give you immigration updates if there are any. And so if you guys have questions, go ahead and start putting them in the comments, because that's what we are here for. We're here to help you guys. And just know, of course, that your questions that you post and put in here that you ask are not just helping you, but they're helping other people who may have the same question. So post, and we'll be happy to take a look at them and answer them. And we got to say hello to our TikTok friends.
Yeah, so if you see me, I'll be working over here, scrolling, looking through. This is our TikTok folks that are joining us. Welcome if you're joining us on TikTok. Get your questions up there, and I will look through them and try to get them fielded. I do recommend that you come to the Facebook page if you can. It's a better way, an easier way for us to get the question, and we can also post it so that everyone can see it. So again, I'm John Gardner. This is Radlin Mendoza, and we do this every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. We come here to answer your questions. However, I do have to warn you that what we do here is for informational and educational purposes only. It is technically not legal advice. We also give some updates on the law if things are going on that are important. We've got a few minor things tonight, but mostly we want to answer your questions. All right.
Absolutely. Now we kind of have a group that we want to recognize tonight, right?
That's right.
Do you want to talk about that while I share this?
Well, we've been, off and on. Sometimes we have updates about things going on in local law. Some nights we do a inspirational immigration story. And one of the things that's been coming up a lot, it's been talked about in the last couple of years, and we personally have been seeing a lot of it very recently, is the issue with the healthcare industry and specifically with nurses. And I'll tell you what, if there's ever a great group of people in the world to admire and to recognize, it is nurses. And I don't want to suggest that there aren't great homegrown nurses right here. There are many. Several of my cousins are nurses, and they do a great job. But specifically tonight, in the immigration context, we wanted to just honor and talk about Filipino nurses particularly, and just what a great group of people they are and how wonderful they are at the work that they do. And they're incredibly high demand. We talk to people all the time that want to bring nurses, and they want to bring them from the Philippines because they know that they just do a wonderful, wonderful job. And there's a rich, long history of Filipinos and nursing. And we have several family members who are Filipino.
It runs in the family. It really does.
Who are in the nursing field, and they do a wonderful job. And we just want to give them a shout out and really talk about, just have everyone just recognize, stop and think about it. Maybe you haven't noticed it, but if you're ever in a doctor's office or a hospital, just look around and you'll see there are a lot of Filipino nurses. And it's not just here in Hampton Roads, and it's not just in the United States. They're all over the world. It's definitely one of their best exports.
Yeah, absolutely. My aunt, Auntie Melly Dio, she came here in the 60s and is a nurse, and then her daughter became a nurse, and then her other daughter became a nurse. So it is a profession that runs in the family a lot of the time, especially in Filipino families. But yes, hats off to all the nurses. But tonight we are honoring Filipino nurses in the United States and actually all around the world.
Yeah,
because,
all around the world.
And let me just also say that if you are a nurse, if you are a foreign nurse and you're looking for a job, please reach out to me because because
that is something we can help with.
We can help with that. It's actually the only thing that we can. I mean, with job wise, We are working with a couple of healthcare providers that need nurses, and that they are paying for legal fees, they are paying for travel. So if you are interested in, let me know and send us a direct message.
Yeah, if you're joining us, if you're tuning in from the Philippines, and we do have folks in the Philippines, all over the world, all over the country that tune in and also work with our law firm. Yeah, reach out to us, info@gmlaw.net, or you can go to our Facebook page, Gardner Mendoza Law. You can call us the old-fashioned way, 757-464-9224.
The old-fashioned way, the phone call.
Right, the old-fashioned way, the phone. I don't know if any of you out there remember the days when your phone was on the wall with a
Honey,
cord.
no, stop. This is a young group.
No, there are some out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know. We serve a variety of age demographics, not just the youth.
Not just the youth. That's
and
right.
there's everyone's a youth to me nowadays. Anyhow. So we do have a couple of questions on the board. Hello to Maria. Hello to Miss Evelina. She is a frequent visitor to our live. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah.
It's 2 years now, guys. We've been doing the live stream for, isn't it? Hasn't it been 2 years? It'll be 2 years.
Yes.
Did we start it?
Yes, it was. Yep.
Or is it 3?
It was February of 2020.
Okay.
2 years.
So it is 2 years. It's coming up on 2 years. Happy almost anniversary to us. We should have a special live,
that'd be fun.
like when the ball drops. All right, let me grab a question. Hello, Miss Lovely. Great to see you. Let me grab this first question. It's a really good one. Cherry Lim says B1, B2 can marry the fiance after 90 days in the United States. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. It is. There are a couple of things to watch out for here. Number one, if you are marrying a lawful permanent resident, you need to make sure that the visa is available. Right now, it is. The spouses of lawful permanent residents, the visas are available across all countries. So that's one thing you have to take a look at. If you are marrying a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent in the lawful permanent resident, spouse of a lawful permanent resident category is current, you have to, you kind of have to kind of take a look at what did you say when you entered the United States? When you were asked, when you came into the United States, what is the purpose of your trip? What did you say? When you completed your visa application for the B1, B2, if you didn't already have it, what did you tell them when they asked if you know, what the purpose of your trip was? So those are things that you kind of have to be careful of when looking at this option. So hopefully that helps, Cherry. And let's see, do you have a question over there? We'll kind of go back and forth.
We'll go back and forth. Jump to the first TikTok question here. Ethan's girlfriend wants to know, I'm an F1 visa student and I have a boyfriend of 5 years. What will happen to the F1 visa if I get married to him?
So did she say that Ethan's girlfriend, is that, what's that?
That's her handle. Ethan's
girlfriend. Okay, but her name's not Ethan. All right. So if a person on an F1 student visa gets married to and Ethan is a U.S. citizen, or if lawful permanent resident that's current, then the student will file the I-130 petition, the green card application, you know, all of the other applications that go with that, like the work permit and advanced parole, as well as the affidavit of support, supporting documents. Once all of that is filed, then Ethan's girlfriend will get a receipt notice to show that she is an applicant for a green card. So once she files, she's now an adjustment applicant. Her student visa can stay there. She can continue to have be an F1 status if she so chooses. She can see about changing, you know, going to her school and saying, hey, you know, I have this green card application now. Can I, you know, switch over and maybe depending on how long it's pending, maybe get in-state tuition. So there are different things, but I think that the bottom line question, the bottom line answer is, am I still in status? The answer is yes. The danger here could potentially be if Ethan's girlfriend travels outside the United States without the advanced parole, okay, because it takes 6 months. Traveling outside without the advanced parole on the student visa, and then trying to come back in on the student visa, and then having questions asked, like, okay, yeah, I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Well, you're entering as a student, which is a non-immigrant visa, but you have this immigrant petition pending. So that there could be some issues there. But in general, if there's no travel, it should be smooth and no issues. But those are the things that I just mentioned are a couple of things to think about.
Yeah. Ethan's girlfriend, there you have it. All right.
Congratulations.
Hopefully that helps.
All right. Let's see here. We don't have too many immigration updates right now.
No, the only update I have, and I'm asked this all the time, is about the immigration reform and what's going on with immigration reform. And for a long time now, I've been reporting that nothing is going on with immigration reform. It was attached to the Build Back Better legislation, which was stalled in the Senate. And then I think Tuesday, was it? Yeah, on Tuesday, Senator Manchin went a step further and said it's dead. So
dead is not good.
Dead is not good. So he was talking about the entire Build Back Better legislation, not specifically about the immigration. So basically the only thing that's going to be able to happen at this point, especially now, and I say this all the time, politics plays a big part in these things, and we're now cruising into an election year. The midterm election's coming up in November. And so nobody's going to want to take bold moves on any of this stuff. So unless they can peel some small pieces off of it, maybe DACA, SIJS kind of stuff, maybe they can peel some of that off and have it be standalone legislation to get some bipartisan support to get it through. But in terms of a big overhaul, that's not happening. I'm not saying it's not happening ever. It's not happening anytime between now and November. That's for sure.
Yeah.
it just is what it is. At this point, it is what it is. Yeah. It's
very disappointing.
There was cautious optimism a year ago, but we've seen this movie before, unfortunately, many times.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So
thanks.
Fingers crossed. If you want to try to help, if you're like, well, what can I do to help this? My advice would be to reach out to your local congressperson and senators and tell them, what things are important to you, and maybe they can, get some support. Like I said, for something smaller, peeling off some individual pieces of the legislation to try to get them through, rather than having everything rolled into this one big, huge piece that's attached to even a bigger piece of legislation that's dead in the Senate right now.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Not great, but great update. Great informing us.
Great informative, sad update, right?
Yes.
I got you.
Got it. All right. Maria has a really good question here. Maria says, my boyfriend and I want to get married, and we're wondering if we could get married without living together. We're getting married in the church in October, and our religion does not allow us to live together until we're married both civilly and in the church. The answer is yes. You can get married without living with each other. Should I just end there somehow and or should I talk more about this?
No, I think you should end there.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to just end there, but I am going to I will say one more thing.
She knows so much,
and
she just always wants to tell you.
So let's see here. October. Let's see. What is it now? It's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. That's 9 months from now. Yeah. I don't want to change anybody's marriage plans. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Right. But
8 months. We're already
8 months. Oh, we're in February, right? That's right. It is. Yeah. It is 2/2/2022, guys. I love numbers like that. 2/2/22. It's also my birthday month, so yes, it is February 2nd. I thought it was still January, but So I don't, you have your plans and that's great. Something to consider is the length of time for cases to take, and consider moving wedding plans up just because of the time that it takes to get the green card. And I don't know what the background is here. I don't know what the status is. I don't know, I don't know a lot of things, but it is something to consider just because cases are taking a really long time. And once you get married, then you can file your paperwork, your forms to go through the process of getting the green card. And, again, I don't know whether you're in or out of the country, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is the sooner you can get married, the faster you can file your paperwork, the faster your case is going to go. Things are just getting slower.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As more and more cases are filed, things are just getting slower. And the way that immigration works is that, when you file, that is your priority date. It's kind of like the place that you got it in line. So my daughter and I were in the Chick-fil-A line, and I was like, this line is too long. We can't get in this line. And she said, just stay in the line. The line is moving. It's moving. And I'm like, can we just go inside? I mean, can we go somewhere else? The line is moving. Just get in the line. And that is always our advice to you guys every week. Sometimes I don't take it when it's the Chick-fil-A line, but the line is always moving. Get in the line.
Yep.
That's
get
it.
in the line.
Yeah. Just my 2 cents. All right.
The completion date will arrive.
The completion date will arrive. Right. But it depends on when you got in the line to get completed. All right.
I always say the time is going to pass no matter what. So you may as well have it accruing to help you. All right. Yes. Okay. So we got a question over here real quick. TikTok fam 046 wants to know, what do I do if I lost my green card outside of the United States?
Yeah, I saw that question. Lost the green card outside of the United States. You could try to get an appointment with I don't really actually know, to tell you the truth. I don't know the direct answer to that question. I'm gonna write it down. What? Yeah, I mean,
we can do when we can find the answer, get a really good, clear answer for you.
Yeah.
And then do a TikTok on it.
There you go. And watch it and put it in the comment, because
stay posted. There'll be a TikTok.
This person also put it on our Facebook, live stream, or that's YouTube actually. So that's a good question. I don't think I've gotten that question before.
Oh yeah, I see it there. You're right.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking. Yeah, I think that probably. I'm not going to guess, but if I were to guess, is to try to make an appointment with the embassy to get temporary proof that you are a lawful permanent resident by giving your A number, and they can double check that, and giving you temporary proof of stamping your passport to get on the plane and go. That would be my guess, but I'm not 100% sure about that, especially now since there's such backlogs with appointments at the embassy, and how long would it even take for you to get that? But I think that because you are a lawful permanent resident, you would not fall under, waiting. And if it's current. So,
and I don't know how recently you lost it, if it's like a long time or whether it's just a couple of days. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but you may want to just backtrack and see if you can find it. I lost my passport in Greece when I was in college, and the U.S. embassy told me to just backtrack. And I was like, thanks for the help, guys. And then I backtracked and I found it.
This is good advice. Backtracking.
So it actually worked.
Yeah. Where was it, on a park bench or something like that?
No, it was at a hotel. I'd forgotten that when I checked in, they held your passport. A little strange.
Yeah. Backtrack. All right.
Okay. Okay, let's see here. I submit an application. Okay, here's one. This is a timing question. I know you don't love those, but I submitted an application for my husband, F2A, April 2020 in California office, and still waiting for approval. How long will it take?
When was that?
April of 2020.
Oof. Yeah. So, guys, I'm probably almost every week we go over how to check your processing times, and essentially, you know, even though you're in California, your case didn't necessarily go to the California Service Center. So you check on your receipt notice where your case is, with regard to the service center, and then Google USCIS processing times. It'll come right up. You will be able to put the form number in I-130. Then you will be able to choose your service center, and then the time frames will pop up for you. It would be, spouse of lawful permanent resident, spouse of U.S. citizen, and it's taken a couple of years, and so hopefully that they get to your number, because you've now been waiting 2 years. It's 2022 now, and but that is one way to check. Unfortunately, if your case is still within processing times, and I'll bet you that yours is still within processing times because of the range, depending on where your case is, what service center, you can't do anything about it, really. You can try to expedite it, but the requirements to expedite are really, really tough. So good luck, hang in there, and hopefully the tip about how to check your processing times will help you find out where your case is and where you are with all of it. All right, let me grab this question from, let's see here. Maria has a couple of questions. Let me see. Is this the same Maria? Okay, so Maria, I think this is the same Maria. Am I confused? Okay, let me just ask let me just correct that question. Okay, I have a question regarding my husband, an immigrant petition visa back in 2014. Is it possible to reopen again? The visa interview was set by Visa Center already, was not processed that time because of medical issues at St. Luke's, related lung infiltration, and need to take the TB treatment, and now it is possible to get clearance from the local public health. So, good question, Maria. I mean, I think it really depends on what they did with your husband's case when he was not able to go to his interview. What did they do with it? Is my question, and that is something that you could actually email the embassy about and possibly not get an answer, but we could possibly fix that issue through the National Visa Center. I'm not entirely sure, but the first question is what exactly happened to, what notifications did you get when he could not do the interview? So that would be my first question.
All right, I've got a comment real quick for Mia Davis 73. I wanted to get to your question, but it's kind of broken apart into a bunch of little pieces. It might be better for you to hop over to our Facebook page so we can get it in a block. All right, because it's a good question, but
hard to read.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, the comments are difficult to read on TikTok because there are character limitations as to how many, how much you can type in.
All right, and Sokoto says, I don't know why I've become a religious watcher of these lives. LOL. Thank you. We're glad about that. We're not sure why either. No, I'm just kidding.
We know why. We're just so entertaining. I mean,
and Brazen Lawyer, friend Brazen Lawyer says,
hey, that's my bud, Brazen Lawyer, out of Massachusetts. Y'all check her out. She's awesome. If you if you're living in that geographical area, you want an attorney, go check out her TikTok. She puts out some great stuff. Very, very knowledgeable. And we just know when there are good immigration, great immigration attorneys out there putting really helpful information. And we've also been in clubhouse rooms together.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So smart. She's so smart. All right. Did you have a question?
No, we just have more over here.
Okay.
We got a lot lined up.
But I thought you said you were reading.
Well, I was asking him to write.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
But if you want to grab one here, you can. Edwana Soup wants to know, hi, I filed the I-130. How long does it usually take to get a response?
A response for the I-130? Are we talking about, if we're talking about a receipt, it can take a couple of months to get a receipt back. We're seeing receipts come back pretty quickly right now. Not 2 months, more like 3 to 4 weeks for an I-130 receipt to come back in. So that's a response. To get an approval, that's a completely different story. It depends on who you filed for, whether you're a citizen or a lawful permanent resident, what service center it went to. So all those different things taken into consideration. Daniel says, can a person from El Salvador who qualified to file TPS initial late filing after many years? I'm going to say it depends, but probably not. Yeah. Best to go and have a consultation. We can analyze that for your friend and do it here at the law firm. But probably not. Just statistically speaking, over the years, when we look at people who have qualified for TPS and it's late filing, we don't. So, who's awesome at TPS is Brazen Lawyer out of Massachusetts. And she does so many TPSs, way more than we do. But the reason I'm saying probably not is because just of our appointments and what we've seen over the years. Okay. Are you looking at me like, stop?
No,
talking?
I was just noticing there that my mother is on here. I think she's saying that she remembers when I lost my passport. She said she freaked out.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Sorry about that.
Hey, can anyone tell me, was I wearing this jacket last week? Because I feel like I was.
And I'm glad you're joining us, Mama.
Yes. Welcome. Glad you found us this week. My mom might be on here too. She says she joins every Wednesday.
Here's a really interesting question.
We love interesting questions.
Jing8930 wants to know, she says that my kids got denied coming back to the United States, but they're U.S. citizens. What should I do?
Well, it depends on what happened.
Yeah, agreed.
Come to Facebook and tell us what happened. Do you want to come on? Does she want to come on screen to explain? Like you could, if anyone has anything interesting, you want to come on camera, that would be kind of fun. You kind of mix it up a little bit.
More information about what exactly happened. Why were they? What was the reason?
Right. Why were U.S. citizens denied entry into the United States at an airport? Was it an airport?
It doesn't say.
No, let's say it was just a misunderstanding. I would get congressional liaison assistance and say, hey, to your local congressperson, like, look, my children were denied entry because we don't know why. They are U.S. citizens. Here are their documents to show that they're U.S. citizens, either their birth certificates or copies of their passports. Please figure this out. We've got U.S. citizens being held outside the United States. That's where I would start. Yeah. But I'm still curious to know what happened and what the circumstances were for not allowing. And this happens. I mean, it's not the first time that we've heard about this happening. So it happens.
All right. Dresden wants to know, how long does it take to apply for a spouse visa after divorce? So if I can add to the question, I think what he's driving at is, I got divorced and now I'm going to get remarried, or I'm remarried and want to do a visa. Is there any timing issue that I should be concerned about?
No.
All right, Dresden, you're good to go.
No timing issue. Go get married. Again, go get remarried. If that is the question. Yeah. I don't have any questions over here.
Well, I mean, I'm reading into it a little bit, but I'm thinking that maybe the broader question is, is it going to look strange if I just got divorced and now I just am getting remarried or engaged? And the answer is no. Yeah.
I mean, could they ask why? I mean, it just didn't work out. I mean, a lot of times people are separated for a really long time, and then they finally get divorced after so many years of getting separated. And then the newly divorced person, it's not like they went from. So yeah, it's not something that really comes up that much.
Trying to jump over here. Our Facebook page is Gardner Mendoza Law.
Gardner Mendoza Law. Yes.
Gardner Mendoza Law.
Yep.
All right.
But it is Let me see here.
Oh, Jing 8930 has added some facts. The kids' passports are expired, and so now they're in the Philippines, and they won't let them come back in.
Gotcha.
So-
So they turned them back, or they never got on the plane?
I don't know if they turned them back or never got on the plane, but that's why they couldn't come in as they have to.
So, do you want to tell her how her kids can go get their passports at the
Go to the
U.S. Citizen Services?
Yeah, go to the U.S. Embassy is where you need to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
American Citizen Services. American Citizen Services. There's an off. They should be able to help renew those passports pretty quickly.
Yeah, what they'll do is they will give them a temporary passport.
Right.
That'll have a short period of duration that's allowed for it, and once they get here, they'll have to follow through and get a more permanent passport with a longer time on it.
Yeah, we're intimately familiar.
We are very. We had a little situation in Tokyo that required us to do something similar. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, no, I think we should tell the story because it kind of illustrates the cobbler's children have no shoes. And cobbler, it's kind of an old term. It means people who make shoes. Like who makes shoes anymore? It's a really old term. But John and I, we were going to the Philippines, and I was going to be on a panel speaking.
It was
in
an
the Philippines.
It was
an immigration conference,
right? American Immigration Lawyers Association conference.
Yes.
And Radlin was a guest speaker.
Yes. So we get on the airplane, and my passport didn't have a 6-month validity. But hey, no problem. We got on the airplane in Norfolk, where we live, and then Dallas, no problem. We get to Japan, and they call my name and they say, you cannot board this airplane to go to the Philippines. I say, well, why not? We knew what the problem was. We knew what the problem was. And we just kind of like slipped through Norfolk, slipped through Dallas, but we could not slip through Japan. They said, well, your passport has to have a 6-month validity in order to enter the Philippines. I'm like, okay, what are the options? Like your two options, tell them the two options.
Yeah, the two options were that we could fly to Manila and just be turned around and sent back to Tokyo, or we could just turn around and fly back to the United States, or we could spend the night in Tokyo and go to the embassy in the morning and see what they could perhaps do for us.
Yeah, so we did the last option.
Yeah, we opted to spend the night in Tokyo.
And it was an amazing 48 hours of our life.
It
was really fantastic. It was a really great time. I had never been to Japan before. John had been before. But John is he was like, well, we're gonna go. So we go to the U.S. Embassy, and we're staying at the Hotel Ikura, which is no longer there. And he just marches right up to the front. And
well, there was a line. I mean,
there's a line.
There's just a line wrapped around it. I mean, it's
Japanese citizens wrapped around the
like
embassy.
3 blocks.
Yeah,
wrapped, just it was going to be an all-day
overnight
affair.
If I weren't with my husband, I probably would have gotten in line. but John walked right up to the security guards holding the machine guns, the automatic weapons. Yeah. And then
saw a U.S. service member up there at the front door with a AK-47 and fatigues.
Yeah.
Just walked up. I just asked him, I said, hey, this is a really long line. It's going to be an all-day affair. Here's what happened. Are there any other options? And he disappeared for just a moment. And then he came back and we went right in. We went to
American Citizen Services. They laughed and they thought it was really funny that I was an immigration lawyer on the way to a conference with a problem with my passport. And they printed it up right away within an hour.
Yeah.
And then we had sushi and ramen noodles and sake and robes and all this great stuff. Anyhow, whatever the last question was. It was about the children.
And even made it to the conference, and Radlin did her presentation. It was wonderful.
So go to the U.S. Embassy and get that done. Yep.
Yeah, that was a really long story to deal with that, but it's a fun story.
We just went down memory lane. It was so much fun. It was a great time.
That these things happen, but that's where I would go for sure. They can help you.
And for all the Filipinos on here, the craziest thing about this story is John and I, when we travel to the Philippines and all the rest of my family, we can't just go with luggages. We have to go with boxes,
that's right.
buy-in boxes, right? Filled up with stuff. So we didn't have we just had boxes. So
yeah, those of you who have traveled to the Philippines, you know what we're talking about. The boxes
so we have
filled with
4 boxes,
stuff.
4 boxes of stuff in Tokyo, and like how we're gonna get these boxes to how we're gonna get our clothes out of the boxes because we don't have regular luggage. And thankfully, we were able to store them in a locker.
That's right.
You remember this?
The cost of storing them in the locker at the Tokyo airport was more than the value of what was in the boxes. But that's okay. We had to.
I didn't even know.
We had to do it.
I did not even know that.
Okay, let's get back to these questions.
Okay, so Cherry, she's got some questions here. She's the first question about can I get married? Can we get married here on a B1, B2 after 90 days? Next follow-up question is, or can we get married outside US and he files for I-130? How long can we wait? Cherry, I'm going to make you should book a consultation with us. And if for whatever reason you don't want to book a consultation with us, make a consultation with another immigration attorney that can walk you through this, that can advise you based on your particular circumstances, because we're speaking about general things here. And what may apply to a couple generally may not apply to you specifically because of, circumstances. So, I used to always go into a consultation and I would say, okay, well, couples sitting here, they want to do a marriage adjustment because that's typically faster, and they don't want to be separated. That's not always the case. The beneficiary who's visiting here may not be able to stay here because when you file for adjustment of status, you're really stuck for 6-8 months until you get the work permit and the permission to travel outside of the country. So anyway, that's my recommendation. I'm not trying to go around and not try to answer your question, but it can be complicated and it really depends on the couple's goals. That's one of the first things that we ask. Mm-hmm. What are your goals? So hopefully that helps.
Okay, question here. I'm on an H-1B and I will be applying for a green card soon. Can I add on my spouse who is not in the US?
So if we're doing it through PERM, yes, they can be followed to join on an employment-based green card. Yep. And children under 21, and even if they are over 21, they could be benefited by the Child Status Protection Act, which is another analysis.
All right. There you go. Here's an interesting question. It says, hello, if my friend does not have a green card yet, and she has been overstaying here in the United States, is she allowed to fly domestic flights?
So I chuckle because this answer is all across the board, and you must know that when we talk to clients and we talk to people, we really try to take more of a conservative approach and not things that are risky that can get our clients into trouble or get the people that we talk to into trouble. You will find 100 different answers from 100 different immigration lawyers about this. Yeah, sure, go fly domestically. They're not checking. But no, I say no. It's not worth it. No, just no.
Yeah, it's a risk. And so, I mean, the reality is that if you are an overstay, you always are in some jeopardy, perhaps. And so anything that reduces your risk is probably a better option. And flying may not be the best choice.
Well, right? Let's ask Linda, because Linda's here.
Oh, hey.
Hi, Linda.
Hey, Linda. How are you?
Hopefully your trip was awesome and that it was the rest and relaxation that you needed.
Nice to have you here.
Our friend and colleague, Linda Carter, she is former supervisor and immigration officer at our local office for 18, 19, 20 years. retired, and she says it is great to be American Citizen Service. That's true. So Linda, if you're still on, would love to know your thoughts about a person who has overstayed or undocumented. Well, we'll just say overstayed. They have a passport from their country, but maybe no. Maybe the stamp is expired, or maybe there is no stamp. Maybe it's just renewed. We always say not to travel domestically. Interested to know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Virginia Beach.
Yes.
If you were, I think you're back.
And while we're waiting for that potential answer, Cecilia86 wants to know, after how long of being a green card holder can I apply for citizenship?
So, if you are married to a U.S. citizen and have been living with your U.S. citizen spouse for 3 years, then you can do it at the 3-year mark. Otherwise, 5 years. However, for both of those things, you can file 90 days early. So 2 years and 9 months and 4 years and 9 months. Hopefully that helps.
Okay.
And guys, speaking of citizenship, we are having our Citizenship Day in May, and the date is going to be announced. We're going to have a hybrid, I believe we're going to have a hybrid virtual / in-person to serve more people. And Linda Carter, our friend, has already agreed to volunteer again like she did last year. So we're not doing it in February. We're going to do it in May. A lot of people, they were trying to wait for this virus to calm down. So we're going to do it in May. We will keep you posted on that.
Yeah. Thanks for your help, Linda. She's so knowledgeable.
She says, stay put.
Right. Err on the side of playing it conservative, playing it safe. I agree. We concur, Linda. Okay. Do you happen to know, can a Salvadoran apply for TPS initial filing right now? I do not. I do not know that.
El Salvador, I don't believe they've reopened registration, but I don't know for sure. I don't know 100% sure.
Sorry about that.
Check out Brazen Lawyer, at Brazen Lawyer on TikTok. She would know that, but I don't think they've reopened for El Salvador.
All right. And Choosy Spicy would like to know, how do you apply for citizenship?
So the way that we apply for citizenship at our office right now, for the vast majority of our cases, is we actually print out, and we don't print out, but we do eventually, but we paper file the N-400. So there is also an electronic filing option, and you can find all that on uscis.gov. On uscis.gov, the N-400 is also on there for you to take a look at. So on uscis.gov, you can download the PDF of the N-400. You can complete it, print it, sign it, and paper mail it off. That is what our office chooses to do, just because we don't like the electronic system. And you complete it. You include your front and back copy of your lawful permanent resident card. If you're doing it through your spouse, your U.S. citizen spouse, then you have to include documentation to show that you have lived with one another for the past 3 years. And you can submit jointly filed tax returns. You can submit your lease or your mortgage. And with the filing fee of $725, you have to check to see the filing locations where you should be filing that based on where you live. And you send it off. I'm sure I forgot a couple of steps, but I do have a video on TikTok about that of all the steps of filing the N-400. But that is the short answer. And make sure you take a look at the instructions really well and where to file.
Of course, the best way to file for citizenship is to call our office and have us help you with it.
That's right. Absolutely.
if you want to make sure that it's done correctly first
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
And our Facebook page, still getting some inquiries here. Gardner, Gardner Mendoza, Mendoza Law. Gardner Mendoza Law. All right.
All right. We have a question here. Christinia says, "Hi, can my boyfriend sponsor me after he got his green card from Asylum?" So boyfriend is a lawful permanent resident of the United States. And if you and your boyfriend got married, then yes, he can file a petition for his spouse. He cannot do anything for you now as just the boyfriend or the fiance. He has to be a U.S. citizen in order to do that if you guys did not want to get married. Hope that helps.
Okay, here's a good question. And Kathleen Santos 709 says, if we're applying for citizenship, we want to go back to the Philippines for a vacation, and they still have their green card.
Yeah.
And want to know if the longest is 3 months that they can go for their vacation.
Yeah. So I got this question recently. We've been getting this question a lot, both through consultations and through questions on our social media. And if you are a lawful permanent, so you're filing for U.S. citizenship, okay, and you go outside of the country, the one question is, can we travel after we file our U.S. citizenship? The answer is yes, you can travel. You can travel outside the United States. The second question is, how long can I stay outside of the United States? And the answer to that, for me, is less than 6 months. And I wouldn't go outside of the United States for more than 6 months, because when you come in, then they can question you as to whether you have abandoned your green card and whether you're inadmissible to come in as a lawful permanent resident. And so if you are there for longer than 6 months and less than a year, you have to show that you did not abandon your green card. Like, okay, and then why did you do that? So, of course, a lot of people are staying out for more than 6 months right now. Not because they want to, but because of travel restrictions, because of COVID, because they're taking care of the sick parent, because they're dealing with property that they thought was dealt with and took longer than they thought. And if you are outside of the 6 months, but less than a year, you need to go and present yourself, but make sure you have the documentation as to why you stayed out for more than 6 months. Now, if it's more than a year, yeah, you're going to have trouble. And if you feel like you're going to be outside of the United States for a year, then you need to apply for a re-entry permit before you leave the United States. But back to that question, max 3 months. No, you can, again, stay up to less than 180 days.
Yep. I think Linda's weighed in on this as well.
Okay, yeah. Linda says 6 months with a reason is okay. And for those of you guys just joining, we have had a couple of people hop over to Facebook or live stream. Linda Carter is a colleague, friend. We've been working together for 18, 19 years. She recently retired from our local immigration office as a supervisor. And before that, she was an officer. And we have had many interesting cases together, right, Linda? So she is kind enough to hop onto our Facebook and answer some of the questions. And
it's nice to have a different perspective and an inside lane with some of these things.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to get her to run the Facebook, but she hasn't answered me yet. I'm still waiting on a text back. All right. Let's see here. Any other questions there?
Yeah, I think, is this Jennifer? Did you get that one yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Let's see. What do we have here?
So she says, hello, I wanted to know, in order to apply for citizenship with a green card holder, does the 3 years start from the moment you receive your green card or from the moment you've been living with your spouse?
It starts from the moment you have been granted lawful permanent resident status in the United States, and that could have been before you actually physically had the green card in your hand. So you have to look at the date that it was issued, and that's the date that you should use, not the time that you've been living with your spouse.
All right, and Ms. Santos 709, who had all the questions about the travel, says thank you. So that's great.
Fantastic. Okay, great. I wanted to mention something again. This is this is a myth that we really want to dispel, and I've made several videos about it on TikTok. We've talked about it here on our live stream, and that is because I heard it again in a consultation, and that is that permanent residence. Here's the myth. Okay, this is the myth. This is not fact. The myth is permanent residents cannot petition for their unmarried children until they become U.S. citizens. That is the myth. That is not true. If you are a lawful permanent resident of the United States, you can petition for your unmarried children. It doesn't matter how old your unmarried child is. Your unmarried child can be over the age of 21. They can be whatever age. I just said that. So, guys, if you know people that think that and they're waiting to become a green card holder, I'm sorry, a citizen, just let them know and let's dispel the myth so we don't have all these permanent residents here wasting time when they could have filed for their unmarried child.
Yeah. I'm just telling you that's a big lie.
Yeah.
And I want to take one comment here because this is a really great comment. I love it. Says, "Love you guys." That's really sweet.
Aw, love you too.
But the next sentence is even better. "By the way, the beard is looking great." Thank you.
Did you trim it?
I really appreciate that.
Look, our kids are 18, 16, and 10, 3 daughters, and they're like, "Dad, what's up with the beard?
They're
You
like,
need to."
"Dad, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just having fun. I'm 53. I can do whatever I want."
I can do whatever I want. I like the beard, so that's the only thing that matters, right?
Yeah, that's right. That is the only thing that matters.
I wouldn't talk about the beard. That would just be weird. I like the beard.
Chuckle. Yeah, Purple Maria 10, unmarried children over 18 with a child.
Wait, what now? Sorry, there are a lot of comments coming in. I think
I'm
a lot
sorry.
of them are the same. No, go ahead.
Unmarried children over 18 with a child. Can a permanent resident file a petition?
Yeah.
Can a permanent, I guess, flip it around. Can a permanent resident file a petition for an unmarried child over 18 with a child?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Linda likes the beer too. Thank you, Linda.
And the child will be able to immigrate with the unmarried child. The grandchild will be able to immigrate with the unmarried child.
All right. Purple Maria 10, hope that helps.
All right. So this is an interesting thing here. Let me throw this up. Jennifer says, my CPA has mentioned in order to qualify to apply for citizenship, we have to file joint taxes for 3 years. Is that true? I'm going to say not true. I mean, I don't know what the context is, right? Like, I don't know what the context is. It's great if you file joint taxes, right? Because then USCIS is like, oh, cool, joint taxes. They filed joint taxes together. It must be like a real married couple. But that's not, there are reasons, and I'm not a tax person, and there are reasons why people don't file joint taxes. I don't know what those reasons are, but some of my clients do have taxes that are not filed together. So, Linda, if you're still on, I would love your input on this because it's kind of an immigration officer thing, like, hey, did you guys file taxes together? Oh, yeah, great. Check. I love it too when clients file joint taxes together because it makes the job easier. Showing, you've lived together for 3 years for citizenship, but it's not. That's just one factor. It's just one thing that they look at. Hopefully that helps. And I would love some feedback on that. Linda, if you're like, I'll file the joint taxes from a supervisor, immigration supervisor for many years. Okay, let's see here. There are a lot of questions that are just the same coming over and over. Ahmad, I don't know if you're purposefully submitting questions over and over again. I do see them, but it's just keeps coming, so I can't read it. It's like keeps moving too much. So I'm gonna pin this one down. Sky says, I have a previous B1, B2 visa. It was a 6-month single entry. I traveled to LA and followed the allowed period. I should stay in the US. I went back to the Philippines after am I qualified to apply for interview waiver program if my prior visa was just valid for 6 months. Sky, I don't know all the details of the interview waiver right now. I'm going to write that down as something to talk about next week, but I don't know too many details of the interview waiver and the ins and outs of it. Sorry about that. It's a really good question, though. All right. What do we have?
Marcos says, hello, my family. I'm a U.S. citizen. Want to petition for my wife. How long will it take for her from Ethiopia? Please, if you know.
So I would go back. You gotta look at processing times. I mean, it really depends on where the I-130 petition goes. If the I-130 petition goes to Nebraska, which is shorter, it could take a year and a half, depending on interviews scheduling. It's very hard to tell. But if we're talking about just getting the I-130 petition approved, that could take anywhere from a year to 2 years, 2.5 years. I mean, we saw someone who's been waiting for 2 years already. So it's very, very difficult right now to tell how long things are going to take because of the backlogs, especially with the interview backlog. So, but the processing times for I-130s are on USCIS's website. Just Google USCIS processing times and they will pop right up. Linda says marriage, always joint, business related I-140 is different. So always filing a joint tax return. What if there's a head of household, right? Now, sometimes people file 2 heads of household. That's wrong and that's bad. Don't do that. But yeah, she's saying always joint. That's what they're looking for.
That's going to be the best, cleanest route for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But I am going to just say that you don't necessarily have to put your taxes in for your U.S. citizenship to show the 3 years. You can also do a lease, utility bills. But again, I'm not a tax expert and I don't know what the different options are to file for spouses. Do we file joint?
Yes, we do. Married filing jointly. Yes, we do. We would pass. We would be able to.
Okay, Ahmad, I feel like I've answered this question before, but I did last week. B1, B2 married a green card holder. He has a valid I-94 when he submits his application. And he got the work authorization card and the 45 ready. Status ready to schedule interview questions. Should the B1, B2 have a valid I-94 at the day of the interview? When you say valid, if you're talking about should the B1, B2 have been renewed? No, because when you go to your interview and you filed your I-485 and your I-130, you are in a period of stay authorized by the Department of Homeland Security, and you don't have to continuously renew that B1, B2. And I definitely answered this last week. So if you have any questions about that, Ahmad, you can give us a call.
And look, that's cool. Eric Mendoza checking in says, hi, I'm watching from Manila.
Oh my gosh, we could be cousins.
That's awesome.
Well, Mendoza is a very common last name. But you never know. I thought it said Erlinda Mendoza, so I thought my mom was on.
Okay, let's see here. We also have, can we grab one more from TikTok?
Yeah, let's go.
I see our timekeeper.
Our timekeeper is here. Okay, I'm biting my nails.
She said, hi, if my boyfriend just got a green card from Asylum.
Oh, I already answered that.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Did I missed that? I'm sorry.
Yes, you're not even listening to me.
I am.
He's not listening, guys.
I am listening, but
this is proof. After so many years, he used to listen so intently to me. All right.
You're right. I'm probably reading questions when you're answering some of them.
Let's see here. Okay, there's so many questions. I don't know why we're still looking at them because time is up.
Yeah.
We are done.
I was just going to see if there was anything short. that we can
Let's
grab.
see.
Is that it?
Well, real quick. Hello, I've entered. Hello, I've entered my petition K1 on May 2021. How long do I have to wait to get an answer back? An approval? May, June, July. I mean, it's been a May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. You should be hearing back soon if you're looking, because it's about 9 months. May, June. Is that right? May, June, July? Yes, yeah. So, and hopefully you'll be hearing back soon, because it's about 9 months. All right, let's end with this. I like this. You guys are amazing. Sending love from the Philippines. Love back to you, Sky, even though I could not answer your question, but I have it written down here. Can you read that? Scribble it down. All right. So I think that is a wrap, guys. It's been a blast. Lots of questions. We really appreciate all of them.
Yep. All right. We will see you here next week. Same time, 8 o'clock next Wednesday.
What is the date next Wednesday?
Bring your questions,
the 9th?
all right?
The 9th,
Yes.
yeah. We will be here.
All right.
2 thumbs up,
2
guys.
thumbs up, everyone. We'll
Thank
see
you
next
so
week.
much.
Thanks.
All right, take care. Oh, wait, Ray wants to say goodbye. Ray, you got it. 2 thumbs up, 6 thumbs up. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
You're so cute, Ray.